Hi YouTube, bear with me because I'm going live on the gram too. First one. If you're new, welcome. And if you're not, and this can look weird because I'm going to be, one is here and one is here. So I'm just going to make this work. Okay, so guys, if you're coming in, I am talking to myself because I've got it on YouTube. I'm doing a live on YouTube and I'm doing a live on Instagram. So if you've just come in and you see me talking to myself, I am talking to YouTube and Instagram. So this is all a bit weird. I'm trying to do it where hopefully this will stay and I'll be able to like keep this or something. So fingers crossed. So I'm trying to save my YouTube videos for you all because I can't do it on Instagram. I don't know how people save that without having like millions. My attention by my brother and was like, how much pasta do you have in your diet and bread? So I was getting a bit upset that I was working out so hard at the gym and nothing was really happening. Anyway, boring talk. But I've just worked out, so I'm really hungry, so I'm going to eat and talk. So what do you guys want to talk about? This is the first YouTube live, but obviously this is like, I don't know, 100th or something live on Insta. So I just wanted to come on. I haven't been on. I know I haven't been as present as I'd like. And I wanted to do a chat. Now, I know it's a full moon, and I know that might seem like a priority, but that is why I made the moon packages. So the moon packages fall on, you can either do the new moon or you can do the new and full moon packages. I started to find it quite, as much as like, there's so much free stuff on there. I was like, do you know what? People can find that stuff. And the only reason I made people pay is because I think it makes you commit to actually doing ritual. Ritual is life. Ritual is necessary. So that's why I made the moon packages. So I don't really want to talk about the full moon tonight. Not because I don't think it's important. I love the full moon, but there is so much free stuff out there that you can go and tune into. I'm sure there's loads of people doing lives tonight for the full moon. So that was just the don't ask me to do a full moon, anything on the full moon. I don't mind talking about it, obviously, but I'm not doing a live on the full moon. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. So what do you want to talk about? For those that don't know, who've come in a bit later, I'm also doing it on YouTube. I'm hoping that it saves to YouTube because you guys have been asking me. I did it a bit last minute with the saving it to YouTube. So fingers crossed, like it saves after, I don't know. But obviously this particular live is about whatever you want it to be about, to be honest. What do you want to talk about? I want to get you guys into the practice of asking questions. I find that a lot of people don't like to ask questions, which is really interesting because I get so many in my inbox and I get so much like, oh my God, I never thought of that and da-da-da. But then no one seems to want to go and talk about, when I come on the live, everyone goes into silent mode. So, wagwan for everyone. What's the dealio? Someone said they want to know about, what did you say? Sorry, one sec. I saw something. Can we talk about self-expression? What do you mean in self-expression? What does self-expression mean to you, firstly? To anyone. That question is to anyone. Oh, someone was thinking about me. Wow, nice. Someone talked to me. Can we talk about finding your voice or self-sabotage? Oh my God. So I was just going to get my pasta and I was actually talking to myself. I was talking about to myself walking along the street. I don't care. At the end of the day, we can all have like these pretend like earphones in. I was just chatting away. And I was talking about, like, for me, I think I let myself down at times when I don't express what I want to say to people in fear that I'm going to upset them. So I don't have this, how funny, because the whole time I saw 777 all the way home, and then Mike 777, welcome, just came in. So yeah, I felt like I did myself a disservice in my last relationship, because I did a lot of talking. I did a lot of what I needed to say about how I was feeling, emotions, you know, all those things. Like, that person was fully aware that I was feeling hurt. But when it came to just being like, you're being a prick, or, you know, just kind of like self-expression in the moment, like not kind of watching your mouth. Now, I know that, like, within spiritual teachings and, you know, mindfulness and stuff, it is about thinking before you speak. But I think sometimes somebody's allowed to be called like a dickhead, or someone is allowed to be called something like not in the nicest way, so that you can get somewhere else in the conversation. Because I think sometimes if you keep it in too much, it can cause you to, like, not say anything at all. And then I think saying nothing at all is that, you know, that Martin Luther King quote, silence is betrayal, you know, in the end. And you're betraying yourself. And I think that that's what I mean when I'm saying, like, it's not that I think we should just go around calling people the C word or whatever. Oh, I love you, Kim. Everybody say hello to my lovely family, Kim, who is in, it's KM KSAD 2010. She is my mama in Miami, and I miss my Miami family so much. Like, it's actually, the thought of saying it out loud makes me want to cry a bit. But yeah, so I came to realize that I think that sometimes, like, you know, you're allowed to express that someone has pissed you off, basically. You don't have to do the whole name calling thing. So let me take that bit out. But we're allowed to express what we need to say. And I think I was thinking on the way home, I was like, why didn't I express in that relationship? Why didn't I kind of go further with it? And I think it's as simple as this. It's two things. Firstly, I'll start off, it's being a woman, and being a woman that has grown up in a generation that thinks it's okay to just throw the word crazy around. If you're a woman who's able to express or talk about her emotions, or you're a woman who is able to maybe not like express them that well, but is aware that she feels a certain way, and I'm going to tell you that you're making me feel that way. And if you do it with someone who you aren't officially in a relationship with, especially because this is where my teaching sort of come from, is that people that I was in situationships with and stuff like that, then sort of kind of throwing the crazy word around like it's nothing. So then I think that caused depression, and that caused me to, even though when I came out of that understanding and was in a better space about no, express it, when I was single, but when I came back into relationships, it was very much the same thing. I would kind of fall into this trap of thinking like my voice isn't valid. Because, well, no, do you know what? I knew my voice was valid. That's wrong. I don't think that anymore. Back in the day, I used to think that. Now it's like, I just can't be bothered to have the argument with somebody daring to say something wrong, like you're crazy, or you're so dramatic, or you're overly emotional, or, you know, just them kind of comments there that make you be like, what? Like, I'm just expressing something. And I think also, like, self-expression then comes from, if you are a woman of color, and I'm not saying that this isn't the same for people who are white, but if you're a woman of color, you have a fear of being one crazy mixed race girl. Like, that is such a fucking common one that goes round. Oh, she's crazy, she's mixed race, yeah, she's light skinned, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, at the same time, crazy black woman, depending on who views you in what way. So then you kind of, like, not to get into race so much, but it's just something that just literally came to me. So we're all in tune. How good is that? Because I was just talking about, like, why didn't you self-express? Like, why didn't you? And even though my last partner was so pro you know, me being myself as a Black woman and all those things, and never actually used the word crazy with me. Now I'm thinking about it. But the fear was always there. And I find that now, like when I've got things in my chest, I think, oh, don't bother to say anything because this too will pass. So I think self-expression is just about being fucking brave. And I've been saying this a lot to people. Sorry, I need to have a mouthful. I think that I find it interesting that, and I said this literally as I was like putting my key in my door to myself. I was like, I live in fear of being either crazy or seeming cold because it seems like I don't care. Because then when you go into the other version of self-expression, it's like, well, I ain't going to voice this. So, and you kind of really become detached, especially if it's, you know, within relationships, which tends to be where we kind of fall short. Some people, it's, you know, more friendships. But for me, it's always in like a love relationship. I find I don't lose my voice in everyday conversation. It's not that. It's in confrontation. And my last partner actually said something to me that has stuck with me because I do believe that it's true now that I've had time to reflect on it. Hey, Loyanne. It was Loyanne's birthday the other day, everyone. Let's give her a big happy birthday. Gemini in the house. So, but it was like, I would feel like if I voice, you know, something, I'm going to get called passive aggressive, which is what he used to call me. Okay. Now people will be like, you're not passive aggressive. And I'm like, no, he actually caught me right, because I'm not passive aggressive in the sense of like, I will, you know, passively, sounds silly, be passively aggressive to you. But what I do is I was looking up the meanings and different definitions of passive aggressiveness and how it can come across. And it's where you will say a smart ass comment to kind of victimize yourself in order to make sure that that person stays liking you. So like, it's kind of like a bit manipulative. Like, this is me just being real. And that's a trait of Aquarians, because you're smart with your mind. So basically you will be able to like say something, but not enough to make the person like snap on you, but that person's going to be like, yo, why are you saying that? See, you're making yourself like you're turning this to make me. It's the fear of being disliked, basically. And I didn't even know I had that as a fear, because I don't give a shit about the average Joe down the street. I just told you I was walking down the street. I don't care. But when I care about you, or when I care about somebody, I can definitely relate to, I will not push a button too far in order to make you actually fall out with me, even if we're in a really heated discussion, because my fear that kicks in is that I'm going to be disliked after this moment, rather than thinking, well, it's okay to just say that, and it's okay to be disliked for what I just said. But if we're truly meant to be in each other's lives, whether it's a friend or lover, I should be able to say that. And that's something that I am learning to do. That is something that I am not the best at. So if you are someone that suffers with that, and that kind of helps with me answering self-expression, like that's coming from someone who isn't the best at doing that. I'm a great communicator. You've seen, most of you have seen me public speak in some sort of way. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about with, did you hear that? I don't know what that was. Hey, Spirit. But yeah, that's kind of like my take on self-expression. And I literally say to my friends a lot at the moment, a lot of people are going through things where they're at a stage before something's ending. So you know when things are ending and you can feel it's going to end, but you don't know what to do to end it. And I keep saying to them, it's just about you being brave and usually saying no. And however you say no, it might be an action, it might be the word, it might be something else, but it's a saying no to this kind of thing. I'm so aware that this YouTube video is going to look so weird because I'm looking down most of the time. So when you see it, guys, and you look back, if there's any gems you want to like keep or share with your friends or whatever, I apologize that I'm constantly looking down. But yeah. So I hope that sort of answers like self-expression stuff. A way that I'm good at being good with self-expression is just throwing myself in the deep end. That is another way to be really good with self-expression. It's really important with self-expression to just be to just throw yourself in. So when it comes to things that are away from like love, matters of the heart, I'm fearless. Like I don't give a shit. I'll try everything. I'll do everything. When it comes to love and things with my heart, I'm a lot more cautious. But from that point of view, like if it's in other areas of your life that you kind of are asking about self-expression and how to apply that, you just got to be brave. You just got to throw yourself in the deep end, like literally just throw yourself, belly flop, do it. So what else does everyone want to talk about? I'm so hungry. But I'm so hungry, but I'm not, because I'm actually not sleeping very well at the moment. So, you know, when your appetite goes when you're not sleeping well, but you're going to the gym. So when you go to the gym, you get more hungry. It's weird. It's really weird. I'm like hungry, but today I'm not hungry, but I'm making myself eat. But no, my body's hungry. Like I need it for like my levels. But my tummy just feels a bit like, Oh, you're so welcome, Heather. I was hoping that the gym would help my sleep, because my sleep was off before I was going back to the gym. Sorry, Adrian, they just wondered what's consequence your fear? What's consequence you fear? What do you mean consequence? Oh, in regards to self-expression. Sorry, can you just elaborate on that question? Well, when do you go, Loyan? If you go in the evening, that's why I don't go in the evening. Like I just worked out just before this live. I did a bit of yoga and some sit-ups because I didn't have time to go to the gym. So I know I'm going to be like, ping. But if I go in the morning and I go early in the morning and I do a day, I get a full rest. I want to know more about this question that's just been asked. I hope you're still here. Yeah, evenings will make you more lively. If you can find a way to go in the morning, I know it's hard sometimes with people that have work and stuff, but it might help. Working out in the morning is big for me. Because it makes me get through my whole day. That's what I was asking myself. That's why I talk out loud to myself. So guys, this is a way to self-express. Like this is a little technique. I talk to myself a lot, okay? When I talk to myself, I get a lot of shit out of my head. It's sometimes more therapeutic than writing it. You know, you're getting it physically out. So a tip to your steps towards self-expression is to write a lot. Oh, thank you. This is my girl, Rare Culture London's jumper, her brand. She did a collaboration with, and I always forget how to say her name. Oh, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to, because I think it's so horrible when you pronounce people's names wrong. But it's Rare Culture London, guys. Dope. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so you get that. Yeah, someone said it's a stream of consciousness. You're right. So you get a lot of things out. So I was asking, my question was, because in my head, I constantly believe that I allowed myself to be vulnerable within my negative state with that person enough without fearing that I would lose them forever. It's that simple. Like that is my biggest fear, is I suppose is, and it's really strange because I don't feel like that in general. I'm not that way in general, people. I'm very Aquarian in the sense I can be very detached and very like, okay, well, I wish you well and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. But when I am invested in, my fear is that thing, that part of you can completely turn you up, you know, like the person will be, look at this cat. Oh, you can't see it. You can only see it on YouTube. Yeah, it completely will turn the person off you. And I know from my own understandings and teachings before that that's a lack of trust in myself. So the consequences, no, the solution is to trust myself more and trust that I am valid to feel and, you know, all that good stuff. But the consequence is the fear of losing that person forever and ever. 1 second. You want to go out? I'm back. Once catching, yes, I have the same experience. So it's hard because, especially when you're seen as being a strong woman, you know, when that's recognized by people that you give that kind of level of your feelings to, it makes it really scary to actually say, well, actually, I really am scared that if I say this to you, you're gonna like leave me, or you're gonna choose to go. And you know, I know what that comes from, you know, and I would advise you all to kind of really know your inner child, because my inner child stuff, that's what it comes from. It comes from a part of me was abandoned by the first man in my life. So even though from the outside looking in, it's not like he just was like, I don't want anything to do with you. It was nothing like that. It was, he actually would try very often to be in my life, my father, but it was never to the level of what I needed as a child. So I sometimes don't know what it looks like when I'm in an argument or a confrontation with a man. Is this okay? So this has got rough, this has got tough now, so that person's going to leave forever. So yeah, I think that's what I personally fear. I can't speak for everyone else. But it usually comes back to something in your inner child, something from your childhood, something from far back. I really believe in, you know, what they teach in education, that you learn everything that you need to know before the age of 7. Everything, every skill, everything is given to you by the age of 7. So if you haven't been given the right things, you go through life thinking that way. So you have to like almost undo things that you've learned. And when you're like 27, 31, 50, 18, whatever, you know, it's hard because there's a lot of years of building upon that belief that has got to come undone. So it doesn't come undone like just because you are aware of it. You have to put the work in. It takes a lot of practice. And that's actually, yeah, not feeling safe is the biggest part. That's such a part of it. It's not feeling safe. Heather, it sounds like you need to do your own live, my dear. It's not feeling safe. Definitely not feeling safe is a big part of it. And do you know what I've been saying a lot recently? A lot of the time I've been saying to my clients and stuff, a lot of things I've been saying to my clients is practice. Stop worrying about fully healing it. Stop worrying about curing it. That used to be my drive back in the day for a lot of things that are in my life. Cure it. Find the cure. Find the healing. Like forgetting that what's wrong with practice. And as I evolve spiritually, you know, certain words or certain things become more important for certain periods of time. But I think that practicing isn't shared enough within the spiritual community. It's all about healing. And if you heal it and then you go to this person for X amount of time, you're healed. That's not necessarily the case. You might have healed aspects. You might have healed parts. There might be parts. I don't want to believe in this necessarily, but there might be parts that take a whole lifetime or never kind of happen in a lifetime. But it's okay to manage and cope sometimes, and it's okay to heal sometimes. It's okay to cure sometimes. And it's also, all of those for me fall under practice. It's a practice. It's a discipline in your practice. And I think if we get past that, if we get past this need to kind of have this finish line, especially when it comes to matters of our heart, matters of our spirit, matters of things that we can't touch, things that are intangible, you know, if we can get past that point in ourselves, then we come to a better understanding of practice being more important, because how the fuck do we like get past that if we're not practicing it? Like, I used to beat myself up like when relationships wouldn't go right or something would turn into a situationship when I thought it was going to be something more. But it's because it was like, well, I now know that the universe isn't testing me, it's trying to make me practice what I want in this world. And sometimes, like, yeah, it could be that person just pops up and that's it, that's you practicing with them for the rest of your life, and it being nice and, you know, it could be pretty smooth. Or it could be a case of that you're going to have a few relationships that have to come into your life, and a few soulmates, a few karmic relationships, a few versions of these types of connections to come into your life in order to make you practice. And I think, unfortunately, the more trauma you've been through and the more things you were exposed to as a child that was dramatic and you know, not fair, like, it's okay that these things were unfair, then I think that it's okay to honor that it's going to take you a little bit longer to practice. And don't worry if your friend's eyes on you is sort of saying like, oh, you're making the same mistake again. You might not be making the same mistake in your eyes because you're doing something a bit different this time. And then the next time it's a bit more different. And then by the time that fourth relation comes in, it's completely different to how you first started. But from the outside people and a lot of societal ways of thinking can make you think that you're still making the same mistake, and you're not necessarily. You're trying to practice something different. But like I said to you, you know, with the practice, if something is like that with self-expression, what the fuck, like, what can we do? Like, if you know self-expression is a big thing for you, speaking your truth is a big thing for you, then boy, like, it's fair to say that, you know, it's going to take you quite a few times and quite a few relationships, or maybe keep, you know, fucking up with the same person. But I've learned through my last experience, like, I'm not going to beat myself up anymore for the things that I am not great at in my relationship. While I'm single, I can sit and say, this is going to happen next time and I'm going to do this and that. But I'm telling you now, just from my own experience, I'm watching other people who do those kind of statements, like, I'm going to do this in my next relationship, I'm going to make him wait, or, you know, all these kind of things that we put in place. It all can go out the window the minute you're in a situation, in a relationship, in a, whether it's sexual, whether it's, I'm talking more, to be fair, I'm talking more relationship wise, like lover. Oh, good. Wearing hoops too. But yeah, like, you have to practice. So just be present with that person that you're practicing with. Who knows if they're going to be the one that's forever? Who knows if they're going to be there for 5 minutes? But they've shown up for you to practice with them. It's not to use them or utilize them. It's to practice, you know? Why do we kind of, we fear that. It's my pasta. It's my arrabbiata with extra chilies and extra mushrooms. I was saying I haven't eaten pasta for 10 days. I didn't realize that I had a pasta problem. And I'm not eating bread, but I actually find the bread one really easy. I'm trying to get slowly back onto my vegan lifestyle, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm not doing too bad. But this guy who makes my pasta is like from Italy, and I just love him. He's amazing. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't even miss it. It was just today. I was like, I want pasta. I'm going to have pasta. Because I could actually live without it. It was just when I fancy it, and I thought, well, that's how I used to be, so I want to get into that. Pasta 3 nights in a row. Okay. I would literally be so bunged up and sore. So what are we talking about now? Oh, ice cream. I want ice cream. The Ben & Jerry's one in America, the vegan one, I think it's an almond brittle. Oh my God, that is just delicious. It's like amaretto flavored ice cream with caramel. Oh my God, it's so good. So what are we moving on to now? What are we moving on to now, my friends. I thought that was a good little random one, and I loved how like in tune we were, because I was literally talking to myself, and I wouldn't have told you guys I was talking to myself. But I did think that I was walking to my room. I was like, oh, I feel really good. Like, I feel really, really good right now. So, what have I been thinking about a lot? Well, I kind of told you about practice. I have been thinking about that a lot. What have I been thinking about most? My main thing that I've really been thinking about recently is like being present and being. You know, I've been in my negative vibration more than my positive for the first time in years, to be honest. I've had obviously negative moments throughout the years, but like for a long fucking stint of like feeling really low vibrational. And you know what? With being in that state, having this beautiful understanding that I can do my job now. I can do this work, this spiritual work, with my eyes closed. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way at all. I mean that in a very confident way. This period of time has taught me, like, Amber, you got this down, like you're able. And because of that, I deserve a break in the next X amount of months. Because I still give, even though I've definitely limited what I take in client-wise, and spreaded things out and things like that. But I can still do my job even in this state. And that's like been one of the biggest blessings and one of the most beautiful things. So that's why I was saying, like, it's really important to be, because in being and in just honoring and crying to my friends and texting my friends when I'm down, and, you know, actually being in this state that I have been in, I have come to realize what my strengths are. So I'm not sitting there being kind of like, woe is me, and angry at the world. I'm actually like, shit, this shit really is about balance. This really is like a wheel of fortune. Life really has highs and lows at the same fucking time. And I think that's beautiful. And so that's why I think it's so important. And I keep putting little messages about just be and be present, and don't worry about what other people are thinking, and don't take on everyone's advice, and when it doesn't work one day, think that you're a bad person, or that you're not trying hard enough, or you're not doing enough. Like, at the end of the day, if you're going through something that's low vibrational, it's usually got a level of mourning. It's usually got a level of mourning to it, a level of grief towards it. So, you know, we have to be, we're still here, you know, like we're still here going through it. So it's like, just be present in being. And I've really, really understood the level of work that I've put in over the last almost 10 years now, spiritually, on myself. And I can really feel how putting in that practice, keep riding that fucking bike and keep being on it and always getting back on, no matter how much you fall off, like keep believing in your true version of what resonates with your soul and your spirit and your heart. It pays off for you later. It almost gives you like a bank of energy to draw from. I really believe that, because I have really felt so much. And I think that, my gosh, like I've come such a long way, because when I last went through something that made me feel so much, I was at rock bottom. Like, I have said to my friends, I feel at rock bottom at the moment, but I'm aware that it's just a saying. It's just a way of coping. It's not actually what I am, because I don't know. I just feel like there's a reserve bank. Don't get me wrong. I need to take myself off and do some other healing kind of once I'm through a certain element of the process that I'm going through. But it's amazed me at like how important this work is. And this is why I do what I do. And this is why I'm going to continue to do what I do, no matter how much that changes, whatever that service is over the years to come. I am going to keep progressing with this work, purely because I believe in it more now than I ever did. Even though sometimes at this time in my life, I have been like really, universe? Like, are you fucking with me? Like, are you fucking joking with me? Like, are you kidding? Like, I've cussed the universe out a lot these last few months or so, but I get it. I'm supported no matter what. And it's weird because, see, that's not being passive aggressive at all. That's being direct. So it's like, why I need to do that. I need to do that more in life in general, you know? But yeah, I just wanted to kind of express like how important being is. I'm not just saying the word like just be yourself. That's so easily thrown out there with no kind of, well, how? Because if you don't know how to be, that's hard. And it's like, be a shitty person if you want to be a shitty person that day. Be fucking stroppy if you need to be stroppy. You know, just do what you need to do to make yourself feel better until you feel better. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna like cause harm or anything, but if you do cause harm, take ownership for it, be accountable for it, responsible for it later, and deal with it and apologize to people. But sometimes in the moment of what you're going through, you just gotta be. And, you know, because I always say when we're happy and we're in a positive vibration, we don't question being unless we have a fear of that positivity bank running out. Do you know what I mean? Unless we start fearing like, oh, what if I don't feel like this tomorrow? And and that can come with low days. But when we're in like a state of euphoria, we often just allow it. We don't even think about it. We just be. So it's like, why don't we do that when we're being negative or when we're feeling a certain way? Because I think that automatically changes it to something positive, because you're acknowledging that, well, I feel this way and it's okay that I feel this way. And no one can tell me that it's not okay that I don't feel this way, you know? We often want to push it. Yeah, the unfiltered. I think that's what it is, the unfiltered. And I think that's what negativity teaches us more than positivity. It gives us a unfiltering. We're completely are being our truest self in that moment. I just want to go back a bit and see what people have been saying. I've been feeling that way for a few months. It's been hard, but little by little moving forward. But as always, lots of lessons learned, even in the hard times. Good. I'm glad, babes. And welcome again, Zorluna. Oh, thank you, Morgan. Hello, darling. Thank you for all the hearts, everybody. May I ask? Oh, I'm a Aquarius. I feel like I've said it about 1 million times tonight, so I apologize for repeating myself. So yeah, that's kind of just what I wanted to. That's kind of what's been on my mind a lot recently. It's just about the being aspect of life, no matter what that being is, you know. But come on, ask me some questions. I'm gonna. Thanks, Luce. Someone ask me some questions. I want to answer your questions. Fire away so we can give people some nuggets to go away with. We're at 38 minutes, so we've got about 20 minutes left. So what do you want to know? What do you want to ask? You know, tap all the way in. What do you want to know? I hate this bit because it goes quiet for a bit. Oh, that basil was nice. That was really nice. Yeah, I believe that I used to feel more strongly that a lot of those things were just like, that's how it was for sure. I feel now it's like a combination: food, your mental stability, emotional stability, how much you're protecting and shielding yourself. Therefore, frequency or bad harbored energy definitely, you know, can aid negative ailments in the body, 1,000,000%. I don't necessarily think it's the only thing, because there's some people that go around stressed their whole life, smoke their whole life, eat bad their whole life, and nothing happens to them, like barely anything. I think it's a combination. And again, linking back to childhood, linking back to kind of your initial experiences. So, oh, sorry, for the YouTubers, the question was, can a low frequency or bad harbored energy cause fibroids problems in womb solar plexus? And I believe that yes, harbored energy definitely can enable or make that worse or be the catalyst, and then your foods and kind of life thereafter can kind of keep adding to that. You know, unfortunately, we live in a world now where our air isn't safe. So there's some things that you know, we can't really do much about, but there are loads of things that we can do things about as well. So we can keep it to a minimum. And one of the minimums is to kind of try and help yourself not to stress further about these things. It's kind of that level of acceptance and in just embracing what you can change. So I feel like this pasta's like never ending. Any more questions? Come on, questions, guys. That's why I put the post up this morning, to give you loads of time. But then saying that stupid Instagram hides everything. So I probably wasn't seeing that much. But yeah, what else do you want to talk about? It's gone quiet. Come on. Give me your questions. Ask me something. Or share something. Share something that you've learned today or you've been learning about, and so that I can either elaborate or I can ask you more questions. Stay learning. Oh, hey, Renice. Your meditations will be with you rather soon. I don't know how to pose this question, but I would like to talk about the connection of spirit and the heart. Good question. But I would like to talk about the connection of spirit and the heart. So I'm just going to go with what I kind of take from that question, and then you can kind of put more to me if I don't answer it. Spirit within us, what I feel and what I was shown by the guides a while ago, like last year some point, was that the spirit lives at the back of the heart. The spirit it's almost like kind of birthing out of the heart, and then it grows through your body and goes around, and it can dim itself and it can grow. And then the heart is obviously the flow of emotions, is our water energy, and the spirit is the fire energy. I use elements for everything. So for me, that question, connection of spirit and the heart, is really interesting, because the spirit, yeah, it is part of the heart. And I think that in order to open up, protect, shield, as well as keep the heart open, there is an element of using that spirit and trusting in the spirit, probably more than you trust in your own emotions. So I don't know if that answers your question or kind of touches on something that you can maybe add what you mean. But the connection of spirit and heart is a very, very close connection, because the mind is air, and it obviously lives up here in your body physically. And then your body is like the physical of your body, you know, the hardness that we feel. The spirit is the essence of you. And this energy that is, you know, all encompassing, and it comes out of you as much as it's inside of you, and is felt. And your emotions is, you know, that heart space. So I feel like the spirit and the heart actually are like the closest together out of all of them, even though the body's encompassing like us as a whole. It's like the spirit and the heart, because I feel like the spirit is always coming out of the back of the heart, and the heart is flowing. It's like causing this. I literally just did a beautiful meditation for my moon package people, connecting, because it's a Sagittarius moon, so it's a fire energy, and I did this beautiful, you know, the spirit connecting with that fire energy of Sagittarius, as well as honoring the water energy with the moon from the heart space of emotions. And so it's interesting that you said that, because I literally have just sent all my packages out. So that's my what I would take from the spirit and the heart. I keep seeing little wisps over there. How do you know when what you are feeling is your stuff and when it's other people's? I'm feeling that I'm maybe being affected by other stuff. How do you know? It's funny because this has become really second nature to me. So sometimes, sorry, bear with me. I have to like tap in to remember how I used to know. So one, it always goes back to the intuition straight away. You will feel it. Two, you just clean sweep the space. So you have to be really disciplined in cleansing, like, you know, with sage or Florida water or both of them. Having spirit baths often. Having spirit baths often. This is so annoying. Having spirit baths often. Having meditating often, shielding and protecting yourself. Then asking everyone and anyone, even if you don't know where this energy might be coming from, to step out of your energy field, then feeling what you feel. That's what I do on a daily basis. Because otherwise you can get sick, you can take on other people's things. It's not ideal. So getting into a practice of pushing back energy by doing physical things as well as like mentally going within, going into that soul space. And like in the moment, I think always just go with your gut instinct, you know, when it's like, am I? And you'll usually know. I have learned that the full moon makes me cocoon. Do you know what? I think I used to get like that with the full moon. I don't get like that anymore. It depends what full moon it is. If it's in Virgo, oof. If it's in... Mine's dependent on the sign and the time of year as well. But I find that full moons actually kind of energize me more than new moons do now. New moons kind of take it out of me. Yes, how do you differentiate between collective for yourself? Collective as well. Look at me, like a rude girl. Collective as well. It's really important to make sure that you do that every day, because you can send energy to the collective. You can do the work for the collective. You know, I'm working with the collective every single day. I have to tap in with my clients a lot before they've even got here. Or before our session, you know. But you also have to have a break from the collective. You can't sit and feel everything. And I noticed the other day, I can't remember, someone asked me something like, could you read me? And I said, yeah, of course I could. And they were like, go on then. And I was like, oh no, not right now. And they're like, well, why? What you got? What you do? What is it? Switch on, switch off? And I was like, yeah, kinda. Like, I could tap in right now if I want to, but I don't want to because I'm tapped out. Like sometimes you have to tap out of the collective. Like you can't feel everything. It can make you crippled. And I learned that because it was in a book, I can't remember what book it was in, but it was something about Aquarians. Like they have to consciously do that because otherwise they can get really ill from it because they're constantly like humanitarian type energy. Sorry, because I'm tapped in, my ear just randomly started like really ringing. So yeah, you have to tap out of collective. So make sure that you're doing that often. You know, it's okay to say at nighttime, like, I don't want none of y'all coming into my bed. Like, you're not coming into my sleep. Sorry, no. Or, you know, it's okay to be like, today I need a whole day off. Like, I can't do this. I need you to be a bit more silent. Or just ask for one guy to be with you or whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, I can't tap out for long. Me personally, I tend to like, I'm switched on most of the week. But there will be at least one day where I'm like, no. And I don't like to read for people like on the random. Hey, Heaven. How do you find your guides? Good question. I'm a believer in everything to do with meditation. Now, not every teacher is going to tell you that, but meditation is a way in. If you don't know who you are, you have no right to be asking for your guides to come in. So if you don't know the voices in your head, which is what some of these guides will sound like, you know, there's a level of truth in it can send you crazy. So I know the voice of my inner child. I know the voice of the ego. And I know the voice of my responsible adult. And I know the feeling, sensation more of my higher self. So those are my, like, say, 4 main voices that can not talk necessarily over each other, actually. I've got them quite disciplined. But say the ego's rearing up, then sometimes I've got to really tap in to understand, is it the ego speaking or the inner child speaking right now? And I've learned through this book that I've been using, How to Tame the Outer Child, how much the ego is, she's basically referencing the ego as the outer child. And that has helped a lot with understanding the ego's energy, because the ego energy is very much the behavior of the inner child. So sometimes that's why the voice sounds the same, because the inner child is being imitated by the ego, the outer child, and is behaving, but that's not necessarily what the inner child wants to do. So they can both be screaming and you're like, what the fuck's going on today? Why do I feel blah, 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 blah? And, you know, when I say screaming, it's not that it's all voices, it's feelings. You have to really tap in to your senses. This isn't as simple as like, oh yeah, I hear voices, or oh yeah, like people just pop up in front of me. That shit happens. That stuff happens to people and to myself even. But it's more, for me, it's a sensation, it's a feeling, it's a whole rounded experience of all my senses being very heightened. And that's usually how I differentiate from what's my internal kind of voices and what is a voice outside of myself. Because the voice outside of myself has a very different feeling. It has a very different sensation, and it's usually conversing with my internal voices. So I always say to people, you want to know your guides? Get to know those 4 inside of your head first. Those ones that are completely given to you. They are your honorary. They are your right. You need to be looking after them. You need to be honoring them. Even the ego, you need to be listening to what needs to be listened to so that you can get things right for yourself. And that's usually doing the opposite to what the ego is trying to tell you to do. But you need to know them voices or them parts of you before you start tapping into your guides. Because otherwise you won't know what your guides are, because then all of a sudden you'll be like, I've got this really mean guide and they say blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to come to someone like me and I'm going to be like, nah, that's your ego. They're not your guides. Because guides, don't get me wrong, they've got mad personality. They're really cheeky. They're really fun. Like, sometimes the way some of them talk to me, I'm like, really? Did that really just get said to me? But, you know, they're not horrible to me. They might be firm with me, but they're not horrible to me. And some people tell me like, oh yeah, I've got this guide and that guide just sounds horrible. And I'm like, well, even if that is your guide, it's likely that you're fucking with low vibration, because nah, the guides aren't like that. The guides are unconditionally loving towards us, as well as being firm, and depending on kind of your culture and what you use. So I use Orishas as well. And Orishas energy is very duality based. So they do talk to you sometimes a bit disrespectfully, or they do kind of put things in your pathway that feels disrespectful, but they are duality. So they're dark and light. And if there's some darkness to be cleared up, they'll bring it to your light. So yeah, this is a process that I always say to people, you want to get into it. I'm so happy and I'm proud and I want you to go there, but I'm like, make sure that you are doing it for the reasons of getting to know yourself even deeper before it's about playing with spirit, you know. And I'm not saying that you're doing that, but it's very important that I give that as a message before I say, well, actually now go and meditate and go do this and go do that. So yeah, meditation is key to connecting with our guides. Also giving offerings to them and stuff. And honoring the spirit of them, whether it's a passed over loved one, whether it is a guide that we don't know, but we just always been drawn to. Say you've always been drawn to Native America type of culture and history, but you've got none of that in your bloodline at all. That is likely one of your guides is that, so is steering you towards it. So it's kind of like in your everyday world as well, you've got to be open. It's like your peripheral becomes like right around the back of your head. Like you start noticing all these signs of them talking to you, not just up here and in here and in this gut space. They're showing you signs. They're showing them, revealing themselves to you all the time. Gem check my Insta story. I've done an art piece that reflects what you're talking about with the spirit and heart. Oh, okay, I'll have a look. I'm trying to find mine and keep getting mixed signals. Meditating spirit animals is hard because I have done the meditations that that there's out there of like find your spirit animal, and I've always found them a bit like no, I don't buy that. But I know what my spirit animals are, but it's because they've shown up for me most of my life. So actually look over in your history what animal always appears to you, what animal are you drawn to very often, what animal feels like is an essence of you. So when I think I was 23, I was just early in this flow of life, and I had a horrible experience with an ex-boyfriend, and me and my friend were in a car, and we literally just felt like the car was getting darker and darker and darker. My friend was like, are you feeling that? Like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, yeah, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we were actually scared in the car. And I remember because we was in a little Mini. It's my mom's Mini, I think my friend was driving. And it just felt like the car was getting like just enveloping on us. It was weird. So I just said, Archangel Michael, like it was the only thing I knew about low vibrational spirit, what to do. And I was like, Archangel Michael, I closed my eyes. I said, Archangel Michael, please remove whatever this is, this low vibration, please remove it now. And there was just like, it was like something in the air without a noise went, and it like lit the car, because it was nighttime, but it's like the car lit up a bit. And then my friend skidded, and I was like, what the fuck? Because like, obviously we just had this experience. And this baby deer, a doe, it is a doe, isn't it? Yeah, a doe. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, doe. No, that's a female deer. I'm thinking doe, a female deer. What is it? Anyway, baby deer, Bambi, came out in front of the car and looked me square in the eye, because my friend was looking at me. She's like, oh my God, that animal's looking at you. And this was in my area that I had grown up. If anyone knows Denham, knows Buckinghamshire, there's no deers in Denham, like not a single deer. I lived there for 9 years of my life. There was no deers. This is going to cut out. I'm going to come back online after. But my point is like from that day, I knew I had a connection with deers. And when I started looking up deers, I was like, yeah, there is an element of me that is Bambi. Like my literal nickname is Bambi from my mom and other people. So my point is you will have them come up a lot through your life that you've probably just missed. And I have several. I have an otter, deer. What's my other one? A fox has shown up for me a lot recently. It doesn't mean necessarily that they're even your spirit animal. They're just teachers for you. But there will be ones that are really like in tune with who you are. Sorry, I'm just reading all your stuff before this time runs out. So many good questions. Is how to tame your outer child. I'll get it in a minute in my next one. I'm just reading some of your stuff. Okay, I'm going to end this. I'm going to keep this one rolling on YouTube, but I'm going to end this one and come back. Hi. I'm still here eating my pasta. Oh my God. Oh, amazing, Cashly B. I love that book. It's been a great help. It's really good. I haven't finished it yet. It's very intense. And when I'm really going through with it, I'm like, no. But it is a really good book. So one sec, I'm just going to get it. This one. Taming Your Outer Child. Susan Anderson. Screenshot it. Get your screenshot. Hey. Oh, to the YouTubers, it's here. Taming Your Outer Child. This is another little book that my beautiful friend gave me. He we were having quite a heated conversation. Well, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was a heated conversation. It was a touchy subject, and there was a part of him I think felt a bit bad for what he touched on the conversation, and then I felt bad because I was being a bit reactionary and like and like couldn't handle it. And he was like, "So I've got this book. I've had it like 8 years, and I think you need it more than me." So this is actually such a beautiful little book. Practicing Awakening the Heart. And I think it's because of the name. I can never say this properly. I'm really rubbish with names. I've got to get better. But yeah, he's a renowned Zen monk. That's him. He's Vietnamese. Oh, a sign. I really want to go to Vietnam. Look, I never knew he was from Vietnam. Amazing. But yeah, this little book is cute as well. So yeah, I just thought like I'd come on for a little bit longer because, you know, why not? And have you seen the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle cards? No. Oh, wait 1 minute. No, but I got these ones. Recently ordered the tarot deck and I'm quite on the idea. Oh, I think I know which one you mean. Are they kind of like sketchy? Like, do they? I see a lot of people post them. Like, they're quite modern, but like they're like drawn. Oh, working with animal energy. Not sure if you read it, but a lot of Raven the Crow showing up a lot. And the off blackbird with a yellow beak. Not sure what it's called. Oh, they're called. What are they called? I'm actually quite good with my birds. I have a bird totem, but it's left my head which one it is. Not totem, spirit animal, sorry. It's gone. But yeah, let's see. Oh, owl. An owl is my totem. And that's like me as like the teacher, the sage. That's more that energy of me. And that's what that's what I was explaining. So the deer is like my more innocent and needs of protection side, you know, fending for herself kind of energy, especially if they're like, you know, this was just ran out in the middle of the road. And it wasn't going to a safe space. That's why it was crazy. It was almost like it was a spirit, I swear to God, because it was weird. Because it slinked off. It like just looked at me like proper doe in headlights. And then it just like looked away and just slinked off. And I was like, I've never forgotten that moment. But yeah, that's like one element of me. The owl is another massive aspect that I've grown into. When I first used to see it, I was like, well, owls are wise. Like, I'm not wise. But now as I've got older and definitely got further in my journey, I'm like, no, I can take that. I can handle that. And the otter is my more playful, flirty companion. It's probably more like linked to me in a relationship, that part of me. Also me being your companion, like when I'm trying to make people sort of loosen up and be more themselves, more their authentic self. So those three really do resonate with me. Now I have animals talk to me all the time. I see snakes, I've seen toads this year, I've seen alligators, I've seen Tons of birds. I saw a bloody cardinal. I saw eagles. I saw so many beautiful things when I was in Miami, like buzzards. I saw a raccoon. I saw, trying to think, like lizards every single day. But those animals didn't ever feel like they were part of like my spirit family. They just felt like guides. They felt like energy, you know, coming forward to give me a message. I've missed you all too. That's so nice. They have a tarot and an oracle. Amazing. Didn't think it would be my style, but I'm really drawn to it. Some of the animals you just mentioned are in there. That's why I thought of it. Hello. What about Scorpio? We the best, hands down. I can't agree with that. Sorry, I can't. I love me my Scorpios. But I always find that I can only have one Scorpio in my life at a time. The other Scorpio will tend to get jealous because, you know, Scorpions are known for being possessive, and that's okay because I get it. You know, like they're the depths of the ocean. Like I actually love Scorpios. I love water signs. I'm surrounded by water signs. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpios, all pretty much my best friends. I have a few earth signs as well, but I tend to have water signs around me. But Scorpios, yeah, they're a dope sign. I don't think anyone's the best sign. Like I don't sit there and think like, oh my God, Aquarius are the best sign. Like we're fucking hella annoying. I didn't know that people actually think that Aquarians have the God complex, and I found that hilarious. I was like, no. You saw me on TV. How? Always dream about whales. Whales are talking to you, girl. Hey, Chris. Hey, Johanna. Supposed to have an animal guide, spirit animal that you don't like or afraid of. Like for me, spiders keep showing up. Yep. Yep. 1,000,000%. You can definitely have things you don't like show up as because they're trying to teach you something. So you probably had a fear of them so that you pay attention to them when they start to show up. That's the weird thing about the universe. I find that happens a lot. So things that, you know, that are your biggest fear or things that you really dislike in life they're there as a fear so that when they show up to give you a message, you actually take notice, you'll actually listen because you're like, oh, I'm scared of that. Like I kept seeing snakes for absolutely ages, like months, like I think about like 6 to 9 months. Obviously I live in England. I kept trying to go to like the Bunny Park, which is by my house in Hanwell. And they used to have snakes there. So I thought, oh, probably let me go there and force this and try and see one. When it's closed, every time I went, it wasn't happening. So I was like, oh, whatever. I'll see one when I see one. My first day in Central Park in New York, I put it up as a post and I just saw snake as a card. Look. And they're healing. Anyway, I'd learned so much about them that I thought I wasn't scared of them. And then some guy came up to me in the middle of Central Park and just literally put one around my neck. And I was like, oh my God. But just from that little tiny experience, like their strength was the flipping python's strength was insane. It was coiling around my neck. And even though it wasn't like restricting or anything, it was just moving. And oh my God, the strength in that animal from that little tiny experience taught me something. I was like, whoa, those things are like, they are strong. Like we know they're strong because we see these like stories of them wrapping in, you know, boa constrictors and the venomous ones and all that. But I was like, yo, like to feel that pure muscle was like, wow, you know? So yeah, like I'm not a fan of snakes. I don't particularly want a snake to be my spirit animal, but and I wouldn't say one is, but I do think they are closely linked to a lot of my journey because they teach us a lot about life force. They teach us a lot. Yeah. Cancers are actually one of my favorite signs. Sorry, not sorry to anyone who doesn't vibe a Cancer. See, I don't know enough about houses. I need to get more into houses. I must admit what's yours is yours. We're all a bit of each other. Yeah, I think as well, like, because I've learned about, Impractical Jokers. Yeah, I was on Impractical Jokers. I got pranked a couple of years ago when I first went to New York. It was actually hilarious. Because I learned about astrology and the natal charts. We're not just one sign. You'll find that actually you're more of another sign than you are your own sign. So yeah, I think since I learned about that, I kind of, don't get me wrong, no one can call me a Capricorn or a Pisces, like the things alongside of me. Actually, I get called a Pisces a lot, but I was raised by Pisces, and my mum's a Pisces, my dad's a Scorpion, but I was raised by all the women that were my mum's friends were Pisces. So a lot of people say like, oh gosh, you really come off as a Pisces, but the only thing that is Piscean about me is my Mercury, which makes sense. I think I communicate like a Pisces. I can be a bit tangent, a bit all over the place, but I'll soon zone in back to like the point of knowledge I'm trying to drop, you know? Virgos, I got a thing for Virgos. I'm surrounded by them as well. Yeah, apparently the Aquarius God complex is real, but I don't know. It's in so many memes. I was really shocked. It's so many memes. Yeah, I do tarot card readings. Hello, Marco! Marco! It's my father, son father. Oh my God. I love Marco. Marco's like the best. He is my father from Miami. He looked after me so well. He took me camping, guys. I got in a canoe with Marco after having the biggest brat attack and saying, I am from London and I do not know how to canoe. And I was so scared. And then I steered the little canoe, our little ship. It was great. Yeah, Marco's really cool. He got me doing loads of things like I would actually fear doing. So I went camping, guys, next to alligators. They weren't just like, and Marco said that they don't usually come that far down. So the fact that they were just there was like up and down. We had Patricia and we had Johnny. Johnny was the most like involved. And then there was another one, but I never saw the third one. I only saw the two. But at night, you'd shine your torch and you'd see like loads of their eyes, like bing. It was so cool. Being told snakes are always around me. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, no, I live in Ealing. I'm Taurus with a Pisces moon. Hi, sun father. I love myself. Yeah, Mercury twin. Quite clustered, but I have Sun, Moon, Jupiter, and Saturn in 8th house. 8th just sounds bad because the 8th house, I'm a number 8, and 8 is always to do with karma and shit. So I don't even want to know about the 8th house. Yeah. I did do great. I thought I did brilliant. I had the best time at camping. It was so fun. It was so cool to get that dirty. I was absolutely filthy, like disgusting. But switched my phone off, barely had my phone on, and was just present. It was so nice. And like the way my family is set up in Miami is like everyone is invited, anyone, you know, as long as you've got a vibe and you're a cool person. But yeah, like it was just like a family. It was so cool. It was like you didn't realize that like we was all from different walks of life and different places and not necessarily blood everywhere in the world. Yeah, and we went to the Bahamas, guys. I went to the Bahamas with Kimmy. I know, I need to go back. I want to go to Jamaica though. Jamaica, like I need it. I love Miami. Miami's like my happy place. Like really is my happy place. It's amazing there, guys. Okay, so I'm going to do another 15 minutes of answering your questions, and then I'm going to go because you can tell I'm getting a bit tired, but I've still got a little bit in me. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to just shuffle and pull a card as we were talking about animals, as it is a full moon and all that jazz. Oh, nice. And when I went camping, that's when I saw an eagle. It was dope. We saw a family of eagles. Okay, so we got focus, Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. I really feel like this time of year is like such a time that gets like a bit wasteful because people know summer's coming. People like to slow down come the summer, but like you should really use Gemini season to get shit done because it's got Mercury pushing behind it. And Mercury is a communication planet. Mercury is a go-getter. It's like the planet probably chasing behind Mars with Uranus. Like it's really, really like a focused energy. And I'm pretty sure we've got a Mercury retrograde coming up soon. I'm pretty sure. So I would get everything in focus before that comes in. Adaptability, even though you're focused, and it's funny because this was the theme in my moon packages today, being mutable, using this mutable energy of Sagittarius and Gemini energy, having a conversation today, you know, through the moon and all that stuff. It's about being adaptable. You know, we got Gemini season being mutable the whole way through. Adaptability is the message with Gemini because it's two-sided. There's duality. The Lover's card is their card. Like there's a lot about balance and stuff at this period in time. So don't misconstrue like the negativity that can sometimes come with people not enjoying Gemini season or not enjoying Geminis because they don't always know where they stand with a Gemini. But that's because a Gemini is teaching us to be adaptable and change and be go forward with adaptability. So adapt to the changes that are happening. So you got to make these changes work for you, and then boom, you get your gratitude, honey, with the kangaroo. Be grateful for all you're blessed with, you know. It's really easy to get caught up in the focus, and then like in order to embrace change, you've got to find the gratitude in what you're going through, you know. And to me, like the way that hawk is looking in a certain direction is like, you know, it's going like more inland than it is like there's nothing on this side. So like you're going towards something to be grateful for. And then the adaptability, interestingly, like the adaptability is this animal's looking the other way. And then on the outside, this one is also looking this different way. So yeah, they're both looking the same way. And this one is looking in the other way. So it's like you've got to stay focused and adaptable, but also having that you can glimpse back, you can go over where you've come from, you know. So that's my little message for you all. Hope I didn't do too bad. And it was okay. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, look what I found. Speaking of animals, I feel bad that I have these, but I'm pretty sure we got them from when they fall off of the peacock. I can't remember. We might have bought them, but don't shoot me if I did. But they're so beautiful, aren't they? Look. I used to wear them in my hair when I used to have the stool. I used to love it. My hair's not quite long enough at the moment. I've cut it off. Okay. So any last questions? Anyone got anything else to say? Let me have a little look at your comments. Oh, a know-it-all. Yeah, I think it does come from that. Can't help that. Can't help that. Sorry, mate. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. No, I'm not a know-it-all, but I'm aware, like, sometimes, like, just shut up because you're going to be told that you're a know-it-all right now. Yeah, this is mad. More than a coincidence. Oh, coincidences don't exist, honey. That's why. That's why. I see you, as they say. Thank you. You are like, thank you. You're welcome. Well, I think we've naturally come to an end, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. Yeah, no, 8s are a good number. They're a beautiful number. I have it in my name. But when you hold the 8 number as your life path number, it's a little bit tricky. It's very karmic, and I have that, and I understand that, and I have embraced it, and I don't run away from it. But 4s and 8s are all about divinity and divine. Now, if you don't hold an 8 number, that can be fucking fantastic for you. But for someone who holds an 8, sometimes it's not. But I'm a very abundant person, and I'm very good at manifesting. So it does work in my favor that way. But yeah, so it's been great. It's really nice. I really needed this. So thank you for being present and asking the questions, and to my first ever YouTube live. I hope this fucking saves now. But so you guys have an understanding of now, I'm trying to do this where these little lives on here save on YouTube. I'm just not looking into the screen on YouTube because I'm looking down here, so it looks a bit mad. But if there's any little gems, because you guys always said, like, I did listen to you guys, you said that you wanted the raw uncut version of my lives more than me kind of doing like more, you know, perfectionist type stuff, which then has me not doing them. But I did have a question for you all. I want you all to inbox me after this message, okay? After this live. You don't have to do it now because I'm not going to stay to read them all. I want you to tell me what workshop you would want. I toy between different workshops and different ideas, and I thought, you know what? Let me ask you guys, please hit me up. Like, it's really important. Don't just like think, oh, well, someone else might say that. Please say it. Moonchild Indigo is my YouTube channel. Please send it, even if you think that like someone else might have said that to me. I really, 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 really do value your input, because this is all about you guys. Like, you know, I'm a certain level in my journey. I'm not trying to teach myself when I'm teaching you guys or when I'm giving to you guys, even though I stay learning and teaching, obviously. But like, I want to give you what you need and what you want, not what I presume you need and presume the world needs. I'm tapped into the collective, definitely. But, you know, it's still good to chat. Sounds like a fucking infomercial. But I want you guys to express to me what it is you would like in a workshop, because I'm going to be offering workshops this summer, and I want them to, you know, I want them to be you know, wanted, not just like, oh, I would love to do a workshop, but it's not really the one I want to do. I want to do, so it doesn't matter how varied or you might have loads of different things you want to do. Please message me in my inbox to let me know what ones you would like. Okay, even if it's not one that you've seen other people doing, like it's just something that's in your head, share it. I'll make it work if I can. Okay, so yeah, because that's what I want to announce soon, some workshops for you all. So get that feedback back to me, and I will speak to you all soon. Sleep well, have the most beautiful night. I'm not going to save this one because it's on the YouTube. So if you want the other half of this, go over to the YouTube. Fingers crossed it saves. But anyway, love you all. Mwah, and sleep well. And do your moon stuff, because it's a full moon in Sagittarius. So yeah. Oh my God. Okay, end stream. See ya.